Good evening, everybody. This is Dylan McDonald in the broadcast booth for the CRN Broadcasting Network. I am joined here with Jimmy Covert, as he will be the special guest in the booth tonight with me, as Kevin had something come up and was not able to be here tonight. So, Jimmy was my next best option, as he knows his way around the house that Earl built, as it is Eldora. So instead of going in a straight line, trying to keep your car as straight as possible, you're going to see a lot of people going from the right to the left and getting ever so closely to the wall without trying to hit the wall. And I think tonight is going to be a true testament of who can keep their truck untamed over trying to be the fastest. So, yeah, I think tonight I've already done this race in the 87s, Jimmy, and you and Carl got to watch us struggle with the 87s at Eldora. Now me and you get to watch Carl struggle in the trucks. So nice little turnaround for him, and hopefully we can see what kind of performance these guys give out tonight.
Yeah, we're in for a treat here tonight with two. It looks like, well, maybe even three 10 or 20 lap events here to start things off. Everybody's gonna make the feature, but we're gonna do qualifying. Just a couple quick laps here with the guys, so they can kind of watch each other, kind of cook a joke bet down there in the common room down there in Discord, and just have a good time for tonight and get the lineup going until they head out here for 75 laps around here at Eldora. And yeah, we will definitely be going sideways. But I think with the track burning off, I think it's going to be faster for these trucks. You know, they're used to being on kind of a harder pavement, so they can get this dirt kind of burn off and get these trucks going. And I'm gonna say probably the high line tonight. What do you think?
I think it may be a high lane dominant track in the beginning, but you may see most, if not maybe little slim to none, go down to possibly the middle or the inside. I did do a little bit of testing myself in a hostess session earlier, and the high side was you had that dark blue groove, as you can see here in the session, and that if you don't hit the corner just right to where you don't hit the wall, that back end of the truck will grab that wall and it'll just send you all the way around the track riding the wall. So I think possibly you'll start to see people migrate down to the inside, get that roar up first before they start making the move to the outside.
Yeah, definitely gonna take a lot of cojones to ride that wall tonight, and hopefully not end your race. So, hopefully these guys got these truck under control. They got their practice time in, and you know they can show us what they got. Practice is about to finish up here. We're about to go the qualification. At least round out the order and where they'll be sitting in the heats.
Yeah, well, I'm actually going to bring in our president or our resident pastor, Zachary Woods. He has been giving us our invocation before every race since he joined the Core Racing League. And Zach, if this is Jimmy and Dylan in the booth, do you have a copy?
Yep, give me one moment and I'll switch up my mic here for you.
All right. Well, sorry
There
to
we go.
just kind of throw you into the booth, but figured we'd get that underway just before you went out and did your 2 laps of qualifying.
All right. Well, thank you for having me here, and let's pray together. Almighty God, I thank you once again for this league and how it brings people from a bunch of different walks of life together over the shared passions of racing. And tonight, Lord, as we take on virtual Eldora, we pray that our conversations on the track are fruitful and beneficial in your sight. Grant the drivers wisdom and patience for what is certainly a unique track on our schedule tonight. And Lord, let this be glory and honor in your name, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you for that, Zach. And hopefully, we'll be seeing and talking to you at the end of this race, and we'll let you go on back down with your teammate, David.
I doubt that, man, but it's good to talk to you here.
All right. Well, I'm just trying to give you some hope. I believe in you.
Well, that makes one of
All
us.
right, buddy. Well, you have yourself a good race, and like I said, hopefully, we'll be talking to you at the end of this thing.
All right, man. See ya.
That was our resident pastor, Zachary Woods, driving the number 61 Christian iRacers machine. And the dude's always full of joy. Jimmy, I ran with him in the Ghost Cup League, and he he's the one that wants to be clean and just learn the track as they go. So I call him another Abi Vishivasam, as a lot of people would say, just trying to learn the track and get used to the car. And he always tries to keep it as clean as he possibly could. So that's another good thing to have in the core racing league as well.
Yeah, it's definitely good to have good, clean people out there. And I see looks like Carl Thompson is atop the leaderboards currently with a potential pole position over Cody McCauley and Carl Handwork with John Olette back there in fourth place. So these guys are running pretty tight as they are neck and neck there as Carl Handwork and John Olette there kind of got the same qualification time, but they just happened to put Carl Handwork in front of John.
Yeah, looking at their best times so far, Carl Thompson with a 19.499, and then Cody McCauley with a 19.555, Carl with a 19.563, John Ouellette with a 5.61 or 5.71, excuse me. And then you start seeing everybody go from the 19 fives to the 19.6s with Wade Patterson with a 19.617, Matt W. George with a 19.62, Brad Bubel with a 19.77, Randall Robertson, last week's winner, with a 1979. And so far, the top 14, they're right next to each other. So you're going to see a lot of close battles, hopefully, all throughout the track. So this could shape up to be one of the better dirt races that we could possibly see in this season.
Yeah, it can go one of two ways. It can be real tight, close racing, and where they kind of give each other a little bit of patience and make clean passes, or it's going to be the other end of the spectrum where it's not so nice. People are bumping and getting in the wall, turning each other, and tempers are flaring a little bit. But I think tonight, if they just exercise a little bit of patience, pick their timing when to go for the maneuver or slide job for the pass, and I think it'll be a great night.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's always a great night. As soon as I see that it's Tuesday, I get pumped. I don't know why, but it's just something about being up in the booth this time and not down there on the track, and being frustrated with everything. So finally, I get to just chillax and just watch everybody run, and I actually learned a couple things watching instead of racing for once, and it's an absolute pleasure being up here in the booth, letting these guys suffer. Because one thing with the trucks is you can ride the wall, and you won't lose a tire. But in the 87s, if you ride the wall, your tire will go farther than your car will. So that,
We've seen that a few
yeah,
times.
yeah, yeah. I it, that was the race that I was really looking forward to, and I ended up losing a tire. So not much I could do after that.
No, it's just do your best, get back to the pits. Hopefully your crew can get your car repaired and back out there, but and just kind of get out there, get your laps in. But yeah, things happen. But at least with this virtual world here, and we're able to give these guys the pleasure of just pulling in the pits and boom, it's fixed. So
Yeah, yeah.
uh, if it was only that way in real life, I'm sure drivers would be a lot happier, but I'm sure they'd be a lot more dangerous to drive around, as you could tell here in iRacing, as sometimes it gets a little crazy here when they have that cushion. But it looks like we're getting ready for Heat 1 here with, looks like Carl Thompson, John Olette, Brad Bubel, Mark Thomas, Jim Ott, Patrick Cooney, and Joseph Sullivan lining up for your Heat 1 here. Uh, so it just won't take long at all. It'll just be a quick little they're 20 lap, I think, heats, so shouldn't take long at all.
Yeah, this is gonna definitely set the pace on where you finish. Could basically set the starting order for the feature. The feature will be 75 laps tonight instead of the normal 115 or somewhere around in that range for the trucks. So you don't have to worry about pitting for fuel. You don't have to worry about pitting for tires. Now you just run what you got, and hopefully you save that fast repair for the very end when you really need it.
Yeah, I mean, this year, this is a fight for this first heat is, the fight for the pole position. So obviously, Carl Thompson's in the best spot as of, for the start here, as they're sitting on pit lane getting ready to come out on the track. But does it look like John Olette is in the car yet? So we're just waiting on him. And once they get going here, We'll get these 20 laps going.
Yeah, this is going to be an absolute thrill of a race here. Not sure if I would be in the second or third heat. I would really be wanting to pay attention to see where the leaders and where the fast line would be throughout this whole first stint, as you would call it. Because, I mean, the first heat's going to have the pressure of the track. By the time you get to the fourth heat, you'll have that blue groove all the way around the track. And that could spell disaster as, the fourth heat doesn't get kind of a fresh track. But, I mean, if you can find the tackiness in the track, you should be good. But Carl Thompson leading them off. John Ouellette in second. Brad Boubel in third. Mark Thomas in the number 50 finally got his, I think it was his graphics card in time to
Yeah.
make tonight's race. So good to see him out on track, running in the fourth position. Jim Ott in fifth. Patrick Cooney, I believe, making his first start in the truck series in the number one truck, starting sixth. Joseph Sullivan in the number 76, running P number 7.
Yeah, Patrick Cooney coming back to the trucks here. He does like this guy here. He does like dirt. He's been in a few of our core series before, and he's even been on the part where he's come through the majority of the alphabet soup, as we call it, and to almost to make it to the final feature. But here they go green as Carl Thompson leads John Ouellette down into turn one.
Yeah, John Ouellette still having that high side advantage, going to possibly clear him here going into turn number 3 and 4. Not able to, though, but Carl Thompson still keeping him honest. Even though it is lap number 1, you can just see how slow these guys are really having to back the truck down so they don't slide up into the wall. And that's another thing that we didn't get to mention. Race control will be following and watching you to make sure you're not wall riding around the track. And I believe that might be a penalty if you do get caught.
Yeah, I believe they are, try to keep these guys off the wall. During that start there, I seen Mark Thomas having just a little bit of trouble trying to get the car straight, as he had all kinds of fishtailing going on. As he's currently sitting in third place. Patrick Cooney battled for fourth with the number 21 car, 27 car, Brad Bell, and those guys running side by side as Patrick Cooney is trying to make that bottom line work.
Yeah, you can see where Patrick Cooney feels a lot more comfortable than other people. You got the leader running the high side, you got some people running the inside. It may just be they're not comfortable with wanting to be up by the wall, as you just seen it there. Brad Boubel gets into the wall just a little bit and comes down and collects Patrick Cooney. The 27 of Brad Boubel gets it spun around, gets going again. No caution is going to bring that one out. And that will not be a good start to the number 27's night.
Yeah, one good thing here about the with that little incident, this isn't the end of the night. This is obviously just a heat race, but everybody will make the features. So, but it definitely just will affect his starting position, or he'll have to come up to the field. So, back up front there with John Ouellette and Carl Thompson as they continue to make their way around the track, coming out of turn 4 down to start finish line right now is John Ouellette just got a slight lead over Carl Thompson, about 1.4 seconds.
And I have noticed once the 66 got behind the number 81, he's trying to follow in his footsteps. John Ouellette doing a very good job keeping it off the wall, keeping that right front up inside the berm, and keeping the other 3 tires in the slick stuff. So we're going to see the number 81 try to pull away from the 66, but not able to do so, as the number 66 is trying to mirror that, and he just keeps tapping the wall just a little bit. But I think possibly with a couple laps to go, you might see a slide job come into play.
Yeah, I mean, one thing was they got a few laps to get around this track, and if you're right behind a leader, and you have over half the race or the heat to go, why push it? Why take that chance? If you have the chance to tuck in with each other and just get around this track and pull away from the guy behind you, and then with about 3 or 4 laps to go, then try to make your move. But back there, I'm sure Carl Thompson is looking at John Ouellette, seeing where his weak spots are at, and see where he can maybe get a little bit of grip and make that pass. So as right now, he's looking down to the inside as just a little bit. John's just kind of sliding around. So already Carl Thompson looking maybe where he can take advantage of John there and make that pass for the lead here to finish out this heat.
Yeah, you've seen him take that little bit of a look. The only problem with making a slide job is the rebuttal that you'll have coming off the corner because when you do a slide job, you got to pitch it so far deep into the corner down towards the inside line and then you slide back up in front of the guy in front of you. If he gets a good exit off the corner, he could very well repass you right back on the inside and you just go from second back to first, then first back to second, all within a corner. So you definitely got to play your cards right and make sure you do it in the right spot at the right place, right time to make sure it sticks and the guy that you just passed doesn't get back around you.
Yeah, looks like Jim Ott and Patrick Cooney back there in fourth and fifth is definitely having heating things up a little bit as Patrick Cooney continues to run that bottom line, try to get in, the safer way around. He doesn't have to worry about the wall as much. He just has to worry about trying not to run into the drivers up top. But if the drivers up top, hit the wall, you just got to make sure that it doesn't sling them down in front of them like what happened with Brad Bell earlier. But Patrick Cooney currently sitting in fourth position. John Ouellette in first, Carl Thompson in second, Mark Thomas in third, Patrick Cooney in fourth, Jamont fifth, Brad Bell in sixth, and Joseph Sullivan in seventh.
Yeah, as they're working their way around Joseph Sullivan right now, that kind of helped Patrick Cooney as Sullivan was riding the high side. Didn't really have anywhere else to go, just had to put it up there. But Jim out in the number 04 was running the high side, so he had to let him get by. He had to let Patrick Cooney get by him so he could make his move down to the inside, and now they both got around the number 76 to Joseph Sullivan. And now Cooney is out to a pretty comfortable lead over Jim Ott in the number 04.
Yeah, he's got a decent little run here as these guys are rounding down. They're 17 laps out of 20, so leaders are definitely got a nice little lead over Mark Thomas as he had a little trouble on the initial start, but has since then collected his truck and running around here, maintaining a good spot here for the start of the feature.
Yeah, we're actually gonna. If you, I actually just noticed it looks like John Ouellette has pulled away quite a bit from our second place runner Carl Thompson. Not exactly sure what happened. Was watching the battle between Patrick Cooney and Jim Ott, and I happened to look up at the track map and seen John Ouellette has opened up a 1.4 second gap on our second place racer Carl Thompson.
Yeah, it might just be a small case of just, Carl's happy where he's at right now. He's going to be starting up towards the front for the main event. And second place here, behind John Ouellette is, not a bad way to start the night.
As we get ready, John Ouellette just took the white flag, so he's got one more lap. And that, I believe, will be the pole position for the
Correct.
feature. So, big night for John Ouellette. I don't think John has gotten a pole yet. He hasn't even gotten a win, so tonight's win could be a big deal for him as he takes heat win number 1. Carl Thompson in second, Mark Thomas in third, Patrick Cooney in fourth, Jim Ott in fifth, Brad Bubel in sixth, and Joseph Sullivan rounding out your 7-car field in seventh.
Yeah, that was a pretty good run there by these guys. By the first 7 that got a chance to get out here tonight. I had a little bobble up there with Brad Bell, cutting across Patrick Cooney's nose there. Basically they were able to continue the run on green with it was a single car spin, 2-car accident. They could have wrapped it up in maybe a caution and brought them together, but they kept it green and they continued out the race. And good job on those guys. And now along to heat number 2 with Cody McCauley in first, Wade Patterson in second, Randall Robertson in third, Caleb Collins in fourth, Jason Ayerson in fifth, Zach Woods in sixth, and David Madspa?
Modispa.
How you say? Modispa?
Yeah, I think it's Modispa, but I say it Modispa. I'm not exactly entirely sure. I've never gotten corrected, so it's kind of like Sahaj Padir. You know,
They are.
yeah. Uh, yeah, it's one of those names where you can pronounce it really good or you could butcher it in just like that. But it looks like David Marispa did not end up gridding, so not sure exactly what happened to the number 117 truck. But this is a heat race that we might have to watch because I know Wade Patterson is a big dirt guy, and so is Cody McCauley.
Yeah, Cody McCulley was definitely out there running some fast laps, traded top spots with Carl Hanwork before the end of the practice session, but found himself back here in second place. So Wade Patterson and Cody Collar will definitely let him down here as looks like they get off to a good start.
Wade still can't really get Cody through the block there. Slide job, and here comes Randall Robinson's going to make it a threes company. Not able to get up there next to him, but Wade Patterson with a big slider, and here comes a rebuttal from Cody McCauley as Cody gets credited for leading that lap. And Wade Patterson gets into the slick stuff and not able to get the car turned and rotated, but now he's right back on the side of Cody McCauley.
Yeah, they're gonna swap. Looks like they're gonna swap back and forth a little bit. Cody McCauley was able to check up Wade Patterson just a little bit there in the beginning, and kind of messed Wade up just a little bit, but he was able to come back. But these guys now swapped positions about 3 or 4 times. As the rest of the field singles out here in single file with Caleb Collins, Randall Robertson, Jason Harrison, Zach Woods, and again David back there in the pits as he missed the start of the heat, but he definitely has a chance to still be in the feature.
Yeah, that if you do end up missing the heat, no harm, no foul. You know, you just got to start your way in the back of the pack and work your way to the front. As so far, the biggest battle on track was the 151 of Wade Patterson and Cody McCauley, but now they have kind of thinned out, and I'm going to have to reload because the track map is not up. Alright, there we are. Now you guys can see what we see out here on track. Everybody kind of got a big gap between everybody. Wade Patterson still trying to get off the wall, not able to, but Caleb Collins running in P number 3. He did finish third in the Eldora race in the vintage cars, so he's got a little bit of track time on this track. Different car, but he still has a lot of track time on Eldora.
Yeah, no matter what track, no matter what car you're on, when you revisit a track in a different car, you at least have that track time. You have that little bit of knowledge of kind of how the track's going to act and when it's going to change. And it's a little bit different with dirt, as depending on how hard the cars are running and the track is wearing out, and the slick is kind of thickening up here as the track is getting pretty beat right now. As we still have another heat race to go for the evening, and right now we're 8 laps to 20 into this one. So, but these guys are pretty spread out. The closest battle on the track right now is between 4th and 5th, and with Jason kind of closing in the back of Randall Robertson there, and trying to look for another position. So Randall got into the wall a little bit, kind of slowed him up, but Randall wasn't able, Jason wasn't able to take advantage of that current yet. So we can see if Jason's going to get around Randall here.
Yeah, I do remember talking to Jason Harrison and Randall Robertson last week. Those two drivers are not looking forward to this race, as they are not dirt racers, but they're always looking to have a little bit of fun and up their points. Randall Robertson is the only driver in here with 3 consecutive wins on the season. Cody McCauley had the 1 win at Atlanta, and his season kind of went down a little bit, but maybe this could be a good show for Cody McCauley to show that he is good on dirt, oval, and road courses. So always look forward to the top guys of Wade Patterson, Carl Handwerk, Cody McCauley, or anybody. There could be an underdog story come here tonight, as you might not see somebody that that is really good at dirt come away and steal the win away from these guys.
Yeah, this series definitely hosts a lot of guys that are in core here with the truck series that I haven't raced with much. Called a couple of races here with you and Kevin up here in the booth, just kind of get things started off at the beginning of the season, but as we kind of branched out and we're doing other things, but definitely been a good season it seems so far. It's held a good attrition, a lot of drivers showing up, nice sized fields, a good 20 car field here tonight. Again, anybody that's out there watching, thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting your drivers. Give a shout out in the chat. If you need if you want us to if you're looking for your driver on the track, we'll try to get to them and whatnot. And you get a chance to hit that like button and give us a sub. And as currently when we looked at our stats, about 51 people that watch our stuff is not subscribed. So, it'd be a good, nice help if everybody that watched gave us a little sub button just to help us out. It doesn't cost nothing. Just kind of gives us some numbers and boosts our CRN here.
Yeah, I will say Barry Chrysler has already commented on our video and said good luck to everybody out here in the truck series. He is a big fellow supporter of Core Racing League and CRN, so it's always good to see him pop up in the chat when we are looking to talk to people outside of the racing and see who he likes to pick on, I should say, because I know he's very well involved in the core and he's always there every single broadcast. So big thank you to Barry for coming in and commenting and watching all of our videos.
Yeah, definitely Barry's that guy out there. If Core's racing, he's there, he's watching, he's into it, and he just enjoys kind of watching, whatever vehicles that we're going around, and just kind of supports, our little hobby here. So it's good to have a Core fan out there, and we appreciate Barry for what he does for Core, and just supporting us like that.
Yeah, I will say, not sure what happened to Cody McCauley, but Cody,
Oh.
I'm not seeing Cody McCauley on track. Not sure exactly what happened to Cody McCauley, but right now
Uh-huh.
your race leader is Wade Patterson as he takes the white flag. And not
And looks like Cody dropped out due to packet loss.
Oh, that happened to him last week. He was going for the win and ended up having a packet loss last week. So not a good another night for Cody McCauley. Hopefully he can get back in here before the feature starts and he can put on a good show as Wade Patterson picks up win number 2 for the heat race 2.
Yeah, definitely hope Cody can come back from the whatever issues that may be, whether it's power or wind or whatever. Some people live in a little more remote areas, so internet's not always the best. So that's what we kind of tackle out here, and trying to do something that we enjoyed doing out here, and running this virtual racing series that we do here on Tuesday nights with the trucks. But that's it for heat number 2, and for heat number 3, we'll have Carl Handwerk, Matt George, John Crane, Brendan Polt, Josh Holmes, Matt Crockett, and Jeremy Lyon Watkins. So, looking at this group of drivers, some more familiar faces to me, but definitely could be some surprises in there that I haven't seen running up front. But definitely the favorite I think for this heat would be Carl Handwerk.
Oh yeah, Carl Handwerk does do a lot for Core, putting on these series of Premier, Vintage, IndyCar, the trucks. Uh, he does a lot for Core, repping the Joka paint schemes. Number 18 truck, always a good sign to see with, I think it's wooden nickel. I forget what it is. I know it's a sponsor that Joshua Bilter has.
Yeah, it looks like
Woodworking.
the wood nickel. Yeah, the wooden nickel woodwork trick. I think it is.
Yeah, Carl Hedwick, big admin and co-owner in Core, and he's actually going to come out here and have fun with these boys, and we're going to see exactly what Brendan Polton, the rest of these guys can do, and see if somebody can squeak out heat race win number 3. Pace truck is off and into pit road. Carl Handwerk's going to get the loud pedal first, and they are off. Not able to get a little bit. He got a little bit of a jump. He actually was able to clear Matt George going into turn 1, but Matt George is going to have the little bit of a runoff coming off of turn 2. Carl slams the door and says, "No, sir." And now Carl found his way back up to the high side. And we have two guys, Josh Holmes, Jeremy Line Watkins running the way inside. And now Matt George is trying to find a different spot around the track to see where, like you said earlier in the heat race number 2, find out where his weaknesses are.
Yeah, it's like you got too many laps to try to make a move real early unless it's there, and unless you're comfortable with the truck. You can see that looks like Josh Holmes having a little bit of issues with that inner line, getting a little too far sideways as John Crane was kind of able to get around him on the outside. But Looks like the inside's got a little more grip that right now, Dylan, with the outside being blue like that. Definitely not much grip out there. You're able to carry your weight, but there is no grip. It's right up there against the wall, and obviously we can't wall hug here, so
Yeah.
definitely need to need to come down, and these guys are gonna need to find that lower line here soon. As the
Josh
zero
Holmes.
Jones gets into Matt
Jeremy.
Crockett.
Oh, it was Matt Crockett. Okay, I thought that was Jeremy Line Watkins. That is the 71.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
seen it wrong. I just seen somebody move. So
yeah. Yeah,
I know Matt
he's
Crockett back there as well.
yeah, Josh Holmes has been pretty strong. Actually got the win at Daytona a couple weeks ago, so he's trying to add on to some more points. It's not a win you're in based league. You got to be the top 12 in the points to make the playoffs, and so far that playoff race is looking pretty strong as there's only, I believe, 2 more races after tonight going into the playoffs. Or maybe
Yeah, pull
one.
those. I have those standings here. Just let me pull those up. Yeah, right now, going into this race tonight, we had John Olette up top, with 131 points. To Randall Robertson's 117 points in second place. Then Jason Harrison with 112. Brad Bubell with 84 in fourth place. Fifth place was Jim Otten with 74. Cody McCauley with 57 points in sixth. Ricky Gonzalez 51 points in seventh. Josh Holmes in eighth with 39 points. Mark Thomas with 18 points in ninth, and Thaddeus Marshall round out your top 10 with 17. And Wes Fuller and Matt Crockett sitting there on the bubble right now, tied for basically 11th. So don't have any wins, but they do have 9 points. So Mark Gonzalez, I don't think he's here tonight. He is the first guy behind the bubble. So tonight, could put these guys in a position where they make the playoffs. So, with the failure of the win and in, kind of makes you show up for the races. So you have the points. So they get to the playoffs.
Yeah, don't want to have a guy that wants to win a race not show up for the rest of the season. Come back into playoffs and be like, yeah, I want to race. I'm back in the playoffs. Now it's time for me to race. That's not how that works over here. You got to be able to run 75% of the season at least, just to make sure you get enough points to make it into the playoffs. As you do, I believe, get 2 provisionals, maybe 1. Not exactly sure how many provisionals you get, but you always got to make sure you use those provisionals when you need them and not because you don't want to get out here and run. So we do appreciate everybody that does race in this series. We had 43 people signed up for the truck series, and every week we get 20 to 30 people. So that's always a good sight to see as these trucks do battle. And John Crane made a pass on Brendan Polt, but Brendan Polt goes back down to the inside and is going to try to take that position back from John Crane, as John Crane is now stuck up on the outside.
Yeah, so it's not much grip out there. You got to just keep definitely work the throttle, as these two are have their handful with these trucks. But it is a good battle here for third position for heat number 3.
Yeah, I will say when Brendan Polt, put up the practice session for an hour before this race session opened, I was not going full throttle. I was holding my throttle about 3/4 and just burping it, getting it slowed down and turned into the corner, but I never reached full throttle. As it looks like the 01 and the 11 of John Crane as he spins around, not collecting anybody, not going to be able to get it turned back around as Matt Crockett running the high side. Carl Handwerk running the high side gets collected with John Crane. So our race leader, and he can't get his truck turned back around. Not sure exactly what's happening with the number 11, but there's another car getting involved, and there is the caution. So we've seen that happen all in real time as he almost just took out the number 10 of Matt Crockett, and that was a recipe for disaster.
That was hard to watch, Dylan.
Yeah. the
Oh, but that way, I feel sorry for John. He spun the car and tried to get going, and the truck just there's no traction. He couldn't go nowhere. And then by the time he was able to get the truck back out and going, obviously got in the way of the leader, and Carl was collective was able to keep going. As it looks like Carl's gonna come in and take his fast repair real quick, because he definitely took a lot of damage. But so that's gonna put Matt George out front. So Carl's out here running for fun, as he usually, me and Carl are off somewhere broadcasting, but tonight we have the night off, so Carl's having a little bit of fun, and I'm down there on the dirt, and I'm up here in the booth with you. But we're under caution here with only a couple laps to go. We're gonna have a green white checker here for heat number 3, as Matt George is in first, Jeremy Wyan Watkins in second, Matt Crockett in third, Carl Handwork will come out in fourth, Brandon Polt in fifth, Josh Holmes in second, and Josh Crane all the way back in seventh, as he went 2 laps down under that fiasco.
I will say Jeremy Line Walk is being up in second place. I know in the Vintage Series he did get a top 5. I forget what track it was, but he got a top 5. And he's one of the people that you don't see up at the front at all until the
No, you
very
don't.
until
You
the end
don't
of the
see
race.
Jerry. Yeah, he's there. He's like a ghost, and sometimes we bring him back in a booth, and he doesn't want us to talk about him much. But he's there. He's very clean. He's patient. He's not like the guy like on your bumper trying to get around you all the time, unless it's at the end of the race, obviously. But here he is on the outside, and Carl's back there trying to maybe get around him to pick up that second spot. I don't know if Carl's gonna have enough time to make a move on Matt George, as he's down to the low side underneath Jeremy Line Watkins. Is able to get around Jeremy Line Watkins, so this time around will be the white flag.
And I think Carl just took a restart out of my handbook there, as Carl went from fourth to second in just one little corner. I've kind of perfected that move in the 87s, but in the trucks on dirt, I don't think I could do it. So big hats off to Carl doing that move, and Carl is going to bring it home second place. You don't like to see it, especially with the wreck that happened with 2 laps to go, but Matt George gets a heat win. Carl Handwork in second, and the standings ended up going away, so I'm not sure exactly what
You, you,
the
you could hit the heat 3 down there on the results side. There you go. Show.
there we go.
There you go.
Jeremy Lyon Watkins in third, Matt Crockett in fourth, Brendan Polt in fifth, Josh Holmes in sixth, and John Crane in seventh. But as I'm looking at the track, Jimmy, we got a fresh track.
Yeah, so these guys, looks like the track reset. The blue has got away. These guys will have a fresh dirt track, so there should be a little more grip. They do have 75 laps, but all the trucks are on the track there, Dylan. So this thing's gonna burn down quick.
We'll go ahead and go through the grid here. John Ouellette starting P number 1 with Wade Patterson on his outside in P number 2. Matt George, Heat 3 winner, going to take up third place with Carl Thompson in fourth, Caleb Collins in fifth, Carl Handwork in sixth, Mark Thomas in seventh, Randall Robertson in eighth, Jeremy Lyon Watkins ninth, Patrick Cooney rounding out your top 10.
Yeah, then back there with Jason Harrison, Matt Crockett for 11th and 12th is Dylan will fast forward there into the next group of guys.
It's
Go
not
up,
letting me.
scroll up, or go down to the grid.
Alright.
Red boxes on the right.
Red box.
Yeah.
Right.
Go down.
Nah.
Should say like a double arrow on the grid.
Yeah, I'm not seeing a double arrow on grid.
Yep.
Well, not
Red
able to-
boxes. Third
Yeah.
one down. Very bottom right corner. Would be double arrows.
I have no double arrows for the grid. It's red,
All right, well,
but no double arrows.
That's all good. We'll finish it up here with the 12th would be Jason Harrison, 13th Brad Bobel, Jim Otten, 14th Josh Holmes, and 15th Brandon Polton, 16th Joseph Sullivan back in the 17th, John Crane back in 18th, Cody McCauley back in 19th, Carl Thompson back in 20th, and Dave Modispa back in 21st. So that's your lineup here tonight as Matt George will lead these guys down the track. So we're already on our way. Matt George out to the front over John Olette, but John Olette on the outside, or down, excuse me, on the outside, looking to take the lead as Carl Handwerk is looking to go to the inside underneath Wade Patterson to pick up third.
Yeah, they were 3 wide there as I went through the camera angles. They were 3 wide going across the start finish line, and now they double filed back about 3 to 4 rows deep, or 2 rows deep now, as you got the 81 and the 151 on the outside with the 23 and the 18 on the inside. So Carl not showing any motivation to stay in the back, wants to hurry up, get up to the front, and replay that P1 that he had in Heat 3.
Yeah, he's definitely trying to get back up there. He's settling kind of down in fourth. Looks like the top groove is where everybody's kind of migrating to, but it's gonna slick off quick with all 20 of these. Excuse me, there's 18 cars out there as Cody McCauley and Carl Thompson did not get back out there. So the 2 of the faster drivers that I seen during practice are not out there for the feature.
As we see here now, Wade Patterson going to give up that high side, going to try to do a little bit of a slide job on the number 81. Not going to be able to make the pass, but now he's going to get passed by the number 23 and the 18 all in one corner. So move the 18 and the 23 up one and move the 151 back to fourth.
Yeah, it's just that was a risky move, but he tried to make it stick. Wasn't able to get up in front of John Olette to check him up. But back there, and looks like, who was that? Randall Robertson. I got into the wall a little bit behind Caleb Collins as they continue to battle there for 5th and 6th place, I believe. Yes.
Yep. 5th and 6th place is Caleb Collins. Got to the wall a little bit, and once you do get on that wall, it's a little bit hard to get off the wall. But so far, Caleb Collins leading the way, but he does have Randall Robinson hot on his tail.
Yeah, Randall Robertson not letting Caleb Collins go away too much. You know, they're got to stay off that wall as it looks like Randall Robertson was just hanging on there just a little bit. Came off it quickly so he doesn't get a penalty. The 51 down low up front there. Who is that? It's a little bit slow there to the inside.
The 51.
To the inside there.
The 61 of Zach
61.
Woods. And it looks like Randall Robinson almost got in the back of Zach Woods at the number 61. Not sure exactly what happened to the 61, but he does have a lot of front end damage and side damage with a little bit of rear. So there isn't a quarter panel on that truck that is straight at the moment, but these guys do have a faster pair to use at any time during the 75 lap feature.
Yeah, they're at 11 of 75 laps now, so these guys will have plenty of fuel to get around here. Tires should not be an issue as it is dirt, but Mark Thomas looking down to the inside of the 61 to get by him, and Mark Thomas did a good showing here, currently in 7th place.
Yeah, that's always good to see as he got a different truck this week, as he has a bad obsession truck.
And Cooney gets into the 76 into the wall.
Patrick Cooney in the number 76 did not get the better end of that deal, as Cooney was able to keep it straight and keep going. In the 76, lost a lot of positions.
Yeah, 76 did lose a bunch of positions. They were able to keep it straight though and keep this thing going green.
Yeah, I don't think I want to see these guys bunch back up as much as I do, but Patrick Cooney almost loops it around, keeps it about a 90-degree angle, able to get it back underneath him, but he drops another spot to the number 74 of Jason Harrison and the number 01 of Brendan Polt. So now Patrick Cooney's got a little bit of digging to get through and hopefully see if he can catch this front pack.
Yeah, Patrick Cooney, continue to keep that low line as you've seen in the heat there. Carl going for a slider on Matt George. Makes it work as Matt George gets up in the wall, checks him up, which gives Carl that that chance to get back to the outside and gives momentum going again. As Wade Patterson also gets by Matt George as they went around Caleb Collins as well.
Yeah, they were three wide there for a quick second, and Wade Patterson came out on top as it seems like the 23 of the 151 of Wade Patterson and Matt W. George can't keep it off the wall, but now comes a point where they have reached lap traffic. It's not about how quick you are, it's about how well you can navigate around this lap traffic. And I can tell you what, this lap traffic does not like to move over. They want you to race them as hard as you possibly can, but keep it clean in the same sense. So you're going to see a lot of people possibly that haven't run the low line have to run it if the lap down traffic is running the high side.
Yeah, speaking of lap traffic, it looks like Cody McCauley and Carl Thompson have made it back on the track. They're turning some laps here. Obviously, there's 6 laps down, so maybe if it was a computer issue problem and we get a caution, maybe they'll get a few of their laps back.
Yeah, that is one thing I can always say that is good about that is we have it crash on track. Gonna go ahead and go back to the replay for a quick second and see exactly what happened. It is with the number 1 of Patrick Cooney all by himself, riding that middle line, gets into the slick and just puts it into the inside wall. Luckily, everybody's able to get around the number 1 truck of Patrick Cooney. But going back up to the live scene, Wade Patterson still trying to work his way around Carl Handler.
Yeah, Wade's been putting a little bit of pressure there on Carl as Carl's, got the gap closed on John Olette as they have a lap car of, who is that? John Crane in front of him. So Carl is going to use him as a pick as John's having a little bit of issues running that top side, getting a little too far sideways. So Carl's going to use that slower car to get up in front of John Olette, but John Olette is able to move the crossover. Wade Patterson to the outside, 3 wide. Carl Handwerk losing 2 spots for that move.
And going back, but there's John Crane. John Crane goes around right behind Carl Handwerk. So this time Carl Handwerk gets around unscathed by the number of 11 of John Crane, and now there's a 3-way battle for the lead. John Olette and Carl Handwerk get together. John Olette gets in the wall. They're back to 3 wide with Carl in the middle, John Olette on the outside, and Wade Patterson on the inside. 2 sliders in one corner as they all did a pirouette, and there's still 3 wide going down the front stretch.
Yeah, these guys are doing the best they can to keep it clean, as it is very difficult to get around this track and sideways and complete sliders without taking each other out. That was almost picture perfect. It was like, watching synchronized swimming, but on dirt.
Yeah, the 2 slide jobs that I seen from the 18 and the number 151 of Wade Patterson were actually textbook perfect. Carl did one on John Ouellette, and Wade Patterson did one on the 18 of Carl Handwerk, and Wade Patterson goes from 3rd to 1st. And now Wade Patterson is trying to check out as he's now got Carl Handwerk right behind him, and they're all 3 of them are running the outside. But if you notice, the 81 of John Ouellette's taking a little bit of a lower entry and letting his truck drift up the track, and now they have more lap traffic to deal with the number 76 of Joseph Sullivan.
Yeah, the lap traffic looks like they're giving the high side to the faster trucks as you can see there, the 81 trying to use that inside, just the middle of the track, just to get a little more grip through the center. Not able to close in on Carl too much, as it looks like the 000 is in the wall as Carl Handwerk goes to the low side, now falling behind Jeremy Lyon Watkins. And this is going to be interesting as just Jeremy Lyon Watkins.
That was a very good awareness by the number 18, knowing where the guy on the outside was and knowing where Jeremy Lyon Watkins was in front of him. And now he's going to work around the number 71 is Jeremy Lyon Watkins. But now Caleb Collins is in the mix for our top 4 spot. So look for Caleb Collins to possibly make a move on the number 81 of John Ouellette in the near future.
Yeah, Caleb Collins sneaking in there quietly as these guys are battling out. Got himself in a position as he's in 4th and falling behind John Ouellette, as John Ouellette is trying to continue to track down Carl Handwerk, as Wade Patterson has pulled out to a 1.2 second lead over Carl Handwerk. These guys, this is fast. We're 30 laps in, coming down on the halfway point, and no sign of these guys backing down at all. Back in 8th place, it looks like Brad Bell's trying to, close in Mark Thomas for that 7th position, as he's only 0.8 behind.
Yeah, he's still ripping that high side, and it's weird to see everybody wanting to use that high side up this early in the race. And me personally, I'd rather go to the inside, use that up, and then use the high side as my back marker for the rest of the race. That way I know I have a little bit of grip and traction for the end of the race. But Brad Bubel doing what he can, and he has closed that gap down to, I believe it is 0.3 of a second now.
Okay, down there, point 0.3, 0.4. As the leaders continue to battle back and forth, as John Olette and Carl Hanworth continue
John
to
Ouellette.
take spots back
Oh,
and
there's
forth.
going to be a caution.
there-
And there it is. John Ouellette crashes. Going to go back and get a quick replay of this. Not sure exactly what happened to the number 81. Slide job by Carl. And Caleb gets a little too spicy in right rears. And Jeremy Line Watkins nowhere to go. Collects the number 81. And you hate to see it.
Yeah, all in all, it really wasn't too bad of an incident. Obviously, that's something that you want to happen, but it is dirt. You're driving on pretty much ice. That's that blue stuff up there. That's pretty much ice. There's hardly any grip out there. These guys trying to throw sliders on each other. It's a lot of fun sliding, and sometimes it's hard to control. But all in all, we'll see how these guys fare out here. As looks like Wade Patterson is still in the lead with Carl Hanworth in second. Matt George in third, Randall Robertson in fourth, John Olette in fifth, Caleb Collins back in sixth, Mark Thomas seventh, Brad Bell in eighth, Jason Harrison in ninth, and Brandon Polt rounding out your top 10.
As I had to reposition that camera so I could actually see most, if not all, the hood area of these paint schemes. But while we have a quick second, we'll go ahead and run down these. Is Wade Patterson in the Hood Up Motorsports number 151 Chevy. Then you have Carl Henwick in the woodworking wooden nickel 18 Joker graphic scheme. You have the 81 in the Outhouse Outfitters of John Ouellette. The 30 Joker graphics Randall Robertson. The 50 of Mark Thomas in the Bad Obsession. The 23 of Matt W. George in the Hood Up Motorsports. Jason Harrison and the number 74 Wrangler paint scheme. Caleb Collins in the number 72 Kellogg's throwback to Terry Labonte. Brendan Polt in the Lanakilla Racing 01 Chevy. The 71 of Jeremy Line Watkins in the Rebel City Wreckers, but we are going green now as Wade Patterson gets it on the loud pedal super quick, and he is now up in the lead. But here comes Carl Handwerk with a beautiful slide job. Going to get right back up. Going to get a little bit of a shove from the number 151, and that's going to give Carl Handwerk the lead as Wade Patterson was not able to rebuttal off that slide job.
Yeah, and that's the one thing about a slide job. You take your car, you dive into a corner, you slide up in front of the other driver, and basically, if it's done correctly, you're able to get that driver to check up, which is what happened to Wade. So now Carl's got the high line. He's got the preferred line for speed, and Wade's going to have to close him down, and he's going to have to do that slider on Carl as well to make that pass and have to do the same thing. Now, Carl just got in the wall there a little bit, so this gives Wade that opportunity to close that gap just a little bit.
Yeah, Wade got in the wall at the same time that Carl did, so not a big jump for Carl or Wade there, but back in third place is last week's winner, Randall Robertson. Not looking forward to dirt, but so far having a good night running P number 3, John Ouellette in fourth, Brad Bubel working his way up to the top 5, Matt George dropping down to 6th, Mark Thomas in 7th, Caleb Collins in 8th, Jason Harrison in 9th, Brendan Polt rounding out your top 10 and on the lead lap drivers as we have a slide job. It is slide job central tonight here, Jimmy, as Wade Patterson makes the slide job stick. But here comes Carl Hand. We're going into turn 1 and 2. He's going to do another slide job. They get together. Wade Patterson into the wall. And now Carl gives the spot as they go back into turn 3 and 4. And I can already hear it now. There's a lot of sorries going on in the iRacing chat. I have him muted, but there we go. Wade Patterson into the wall, Carl Handwerk into the wall, and that's going to collect a couple other people as Wade Patterson is stuck inside
Oh,
the
looks
wall.
it looks like he was able to keep that straight, and but obviously gonna end up with a caution. But look like if you want to go back there and watch that again, it does definitely look like Wade just kind of got a just kind of hooked into the wall there a little bit. It
Yeah,
just would
that
not come off the wall.
Yeah, that's another thing with dirt track racing is that does provide a little bit of net code, I should say, with Carl Handwerk. As you see here, he's running the high side. Carl Handwerk trying everything he possibly can to not hit Wade. And with you driving on ice like it is tonight, it is a little bit harder to do. But with that happening, that wasn't what brought out the caution, Jimmy. I believe it was Mark Thomas. As we take a look here, going to switch it over to the TV2 for you guys. As they're three wide with guys are lapped down, Mark Thomas got in the slick stuff and
Yeah,
got
maybe.
into the 66 of Carl Thompson and the number 1 of Patrick Cooney.
Yeah, I think with the incident between the leaders and that one there, they decided to
Throw a caution, get everybody regrouped, get everybody calmed down. It is a dirt track. As Denny Hamlin would say, that's just short track racing. So now we are 46 laps in out of the 75 lap race, and this has gone by really, really quickly. So I I must say these last 25 laps are going to be a hoot.
Yeah, definitely hearing a little bit of chatter about wrapping it up just a little bit earlier. Some drivers are going to be short on fuel with this track not being a non-fuel, like non-refueling track.
Oh, so it's
So,
going to be a fight to the finish for fuel as Carl Hayward gets a good jump on the number 81 of John Ouellette's going to lead him into turn number 1. Matt W. George sitting there going to try to do the all
oh,
the
they're
way
gonna go four
inside,
wide.
and they're 4 wide. They're wrecking. They all keep it straight somehow, as Matt George is the big winner in that whole situation as he goes up to P number 3 from 7th. So mark him up to 7th place as John Ouellette gets around the 18 of Carl Handwerk, so move Carl Handwerk back down to P number 2. But Carl Handwerk is not going to let him have that for long as he's going to pull another slide job on the number 81.
Yeah, Carl's gonna make that slide job work just in front of John Ouellette. As Ouellette is trying to make that slide job back on Carl himself. As Matt George and Caleb Collins riding that high side, finding the speed, and now finding himself in a position for third position.
Yeah, he came out of nowhere. He's like another Jeremy Line Watkins. He's like a ghost. You don't really see too much of him, but he's always there at the end as he has not left that high side. He's going to keep running that high side until he can't run it no more. And now Carl Handwerk has clean air in front of him as Matt W. George, he's going to try to do the inside, get a little bit of a slide job as Caleb Collins and John Ouellette get back into the wall. But Cody McCauley, a couple laps down, still going to make his presence known and possibly make it a little bit of a fight for our lead 6, or top 5, as there's another caution out on track. And that
Yes,
would be Wade Patterson. Go ahead and watch this. Switch over to TV number 3. Get a wider view as Brad Bubell got a little bit slow. Wade Patterson gets into him. Cody McCauley, or Carl Thompson, goes through the middle and doesn't get a scratch, but Patrick Cooney nowhere to go. Brad Bubell trying to get it whipped around, and Wade Patterson ended up jumping to the pits. So that will be a tow for the number 151 of Wade Patterson.
it's definitely getting getting down towards the end here. These are guys starting to finish up. The guys are getting a little more impatient as the laps are winding down. So you know, people people are gonna the tempers might start flaring up just a little bit, but you definitely continue to put on a good show, and they got to keep these sliders clean and keep us green. So, but definitely we'll see what these guys can do here in these final laps here.
Yeah, it's definitely been some good racing, hard, clean as you can get them, considering they are on dirt. So a little bit of bumping and banging is going to happen eventually on a dirt race, but it has been very clean and very respectful, to say the least, as these guys have been jockeying for position every lap, throwing sliders 3 to 4 wide, going down the front straight and the back straight. So we could possibly see a 3 wide finish, or we could possibly see a strung out race as we come to 15 laps to go.
Yeah, definitely. I know we're rounding this race down. I haven't heard a definitive end. What lap they're ending on, as these guys will be running out of gas. Well, there is like YOLO, and whoever has the most gas gets to the end. So we'll see how this all ends out here as we're at lap 55, and we currently are scheduled for 20 more laps. But there could be cut a little short.
As the
But we will see.
66 of Carl Thompson goes around, he's going back again. So just a one-car incident, no caution needed. But now Caleb Collins, John Ouellette, Carl Henwick all running the high side, with Matt George running the inside. As these four have broken away just a little bit, Caleb Collins gets into the back of the number 81. And now that brings up the number 30 of Randall Robertson. He's got a little bit of a gap to fill, but he does have, I believe it is Brendan Polt to his inside. Brendan's going to try to make that truck get past the number 30. But so far, these top four, you could throw over a blanket, as Matt W. George is in P2, going to try to throw the possible slider on Carl Handwerk, going to make a stick. Carl can't get low to make another slide job, as the 81's on his inside, but move Carl Henwer back to P number 2, as him and Caleb Collins got into a little bit of a tango. And now Carl Henwer's moving back up through the field, back up to P number 2. John Ouellette's running the inside, and now he's going to try to make his way around the number 23 of Matt George. Caleb Collins getting into the wall just a little bit, but Matt George still running that super inside line, what I was talking about earlier in this race. That's where you want to be. That's where the most tacky stuff is. But Carl making it work on the high side. Going to get around Matt George going down the backstretch, going into turn number 3 and 4. Not going to be able to throw the slider this time by, as Carl Henwick regains the lead. But here comes Caleb Collins. He's going to take over the second position.
Yeah, he's just a little bit out of control. Caleb Collins is definitely running the high line there, tagging the wall just every so slightly there and there. The guys on the high side are able to carry the speed through the corner, but they don't have the grip to hold it. And it looks like the race is over. So,
and that will be Carl Handwerk in P number 1. No, they're still racing.
No. They're done.
All right, so final results as it stands. Can't really say final results due to people still passing each other. So at the line, I believe it was Carl Handwerk, the 23 of Randall Robert, or 23 of Matt George, and the 72 of Caleb Collins rounding out your top 3. So I will message in there and have them. Carl?
Yeah, we just go ahead and get in touch with Carl here and find out who our top 3 is. But the definitely a good race tonight. They had to call a little bit short, as the definitely wasn't enough fuel in the trucks tonight, as they were probably spinning the tires a little bit too much and running that high side. So we're unable to reach 75 laps on a tank of fuel. So, but it looks like Caleb Collins, Carl Handwerk, Jeremy Lyon Watkins, Jason Harrison, James Ott, Matt George, Brandon Pohl, John Crane, John Ouellette, all them guys were pretty much in the top 10 somewhere. So, but good job to everybody that's out there. Everybody that came out tonight to run this dirt. If dirt's not your thing, at least you got out there, got some time on track. Unfortunately, the trucks they do go to dirt tracks now these days, so they're not all just asphalt ovals and the occasional road race at like Watkins Glen and Sonoma. So they have a couple. They have a little bit more diversity these days. So, but good on these guys for coming out here and spending a little time on the truck. Dylan's getting the guys who can come up to the booth and give them a little interview and see how their race went for them.
Yeah, just waiting. There's our third place finisher, the 72 of Caleb Collins, bringing it home P3 tonight. And so far, we've seen you do pretty well on the dirt side, whether it's in the vintage cars or the trucks. But anyways, this is Dylan and Jimmy in the booth. You got a copy.
I got you, boys. Man, I'm glad they uninstalled the spikes on the wall from the 87s because we didn't have any issue with flat tires tonight. We could all ride up there and have a good time. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we did see you get in the wall just a little bit, a lot more than keeping it off the wall, but that's what happens when you do end up having the trucks and having such long bodies. But so far, you bring it home P number 3, so that is a pretty good finishing spot for you tonight. You head into a road course next week, but kind of give us a little bit of insight how the track felt and what you could have done different to possibly get the win here tonight.
I would have liked to take the back tires off and put some late model tires on them because, man, there was zero grip. And I actually, and I mean, part of it is just my driving style too. I need to get better at managing my throttle input because I ran into John Crane there like first quarter, first third of the race or something like that, and took a little damage on the nose, and it slowed my RPMs. So I was actually making time, and I could have passed everybody that way, but then I got into that first wreck, and I had to come down and get a faster repair. But man, there was just no grip. It took so much rubber so fast, and I mean the track just wore out so much faster than I was hoping it would, but it wound up there at the finish. It made for a pretty exciting end to it, I think.
Oh yeah, for sure. It was definitely exciting up here in the booth as I got to sit there and watch you race again on dirt, and I got to pocket everybody as you guys battled it out for 70 laps on the dirt. Not able to make the quota of 75, but you go into a road course next week. What's your expectations for Charlotte Roval?
I have every expectation that this will probably be my best finish for a while. I'm not very good at the Roval, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm always up for a challenge. I'm always up to learn some more things and improve on myself as a driver. And there is plenty that I can improve on at the Roval. So hopefully I'll learn something next week.
All right. Well, before we send you on out of here, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to and a special thanks?
Yeah, well, thanks for the man upstairs for giving me the means, as I like to say, and thank you guys for broadcasting the show and sitting up in the virtual Eldora booth there. I hope you've got some AC because it's hotter than high noon here. I don't know what it is at the virtual Eldora, but hope you got some AC where you are, and of course, I would be remiss if I didn't thank the missus for taking care of the kids tonight, so I can come out here to the shop and have some fun racing with these guys. It's a blast every Tuesday night.
And I will say I did mess up. It is New Hampshire next week, not a road course. Uh,
Well, I'm not good there either, so that's fine. We'll
all right.
we'll learn a lot either way.
Yeah, so you got one more oval before you go to the road course, then you start your playoff. So that will do it for you tonight, and hopefully we'll see you again next week.
All right, thank you guys.
Yes, sir. Jimmy, I'll let you go ahead and take away our second place finisher, Matt W. George.
Hey Matt, this is
Hey,
Dylan and Jimmy up
I
in the booth.
I gotta bring him in real quick. Hold on.
Oh,
Yeah, he's in here.
hey, this is Jimmy and Dylan in the booth. You copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey Matt, yeah, good job there with the P2. Definitely a long battle through the 60 or so laps that you guys had, but back and forth with between you and Carl Hanwerk and Randall Robertson, John Olette. You guys all did a great job. A lot of times 3 wide, synchronized slide jobs back and forth, but it was really fun to watch. Good screen time. But why don't you give us a little rundown of how it kind of was for you on the track?
Yeah, it was pretty good. Came out. I didn't do really a lot of testing, and I'm more of a dirt guy anyway. So seeing this on the schedule, I got pretty excited. Uh, but yeah, we had a great battle. Truck felt great all night. Really, I could put it pretty much anywhere I wanted to go and get some grip and be able to just hang in the top five for I think the whole race. I might have fell back to sixth a few laps, but yeah, everybody raced good. Good night.
Yeah, it was definitely a pretty clean race all in all. I mean it's dirt. Everybody has their issues, and but I noticed early that everybody kind of went to the high side, and then towards the end, it looked like the low side started to come in for everybody, and it was almost like because I had all the grip, even though it might be a little slower, it was actually the faster line.
Yeah, and it's weird because you can get in the dirt car and you can run right in the middle early on in a race, and it just wasn't there in the trucks early. It was all against the wall, which is fine. It means put on for better racing towards the end of the race when you can run pretty much
Right.
essentially three lines if need be. Across the track.
Yeah, definitely made for some interesting, passing and racing tonight. But overall, you did a great job and brought it home in a P2. So, I'll give you just a little bit of time to, give any shout outs to anybody out there you'd like to.
Yeah, the guys at Hood Up Motorsports, we do a lot of testing and everything, pretty much about anything. Y'all for broadcasting, the guys for putting the whole league on and everything, and yeah, I think that's it.
Well, yeah, no problem. Yeah, again, thanks for the shout outs and whatnot. And it's good to see. I'm just a guest tonight. Usually Kevin's in the booth here with Dylan, but just trying to fill in, so Dylan's not up here all lonely and stuff. But hope Kevin will be back probably next week, and but I'll be looking forward to watching you out there, and hopefully next week was it New Hampshire, Dylan?
Yes, sir. New Hampshire is next week.
Yeah, so you guys will be going to New Hampshire next week, and hopefully you can come away with another top three.
Hopefully so. Appreciate it, guys.
You have a good night.
You too.
All right, going to bring in our race winner here tonight, Mr. Carl Handwerk, giving them the beans tonight at the Eldora Speedway. Carl,
Rigged,
congrats on the win
rigged,
tonight.
rigged.
Congrats on the win tonight. It looked like a sure battle between everybody in the top five with you, Matt George, Caleb Collins, and the 81 of John Ouellette. But kind of walk us through those final couple laps coming to the checkered flag before the checkered flag.
Well, 20 trucks on a track, for 20 laps, let alone 60, it was tore up. That thing was just it was slick as shit out there, and it was tough. And I was just talking to Matt before we came in here, and I said, as soon as I seen him kind of creeping up below me down there, I'm like, shit, he's right. It is the time to get down to the bottom right now. And how I was able to just kind of rip the whatever is left of the lip up there. I mean, it was like a half a lip at that point. To get around him at the end, that was just, I mean, without wall riding. That's what I didn't want to do. I don't want to get around him by just slamming around the wall going around there. But I don't even know if I touched it. I'd have to take a look back there. But it was just it hooked up perfectly right on the outside. But yeah, it was not easy at all. That thing was just tore up.
Well, I can't say now you know how I felt in the 87s, but you were in the truck. So it was definitely a pleasure being up here in the booth watching you struggle on the dirt side this week. And that is for all the viewers watching on broadcast. That is $2 in the swear jar for Carl Handwork. So make sure that goes in the swear jar as we do
All right.
have one. I have $2 in the swear jar already for my cup race at Atlanta. So there's $4 total, so we can all split that up. But coming to the final couple of laps, we've seen a lot of slide jobs out of the whole field pretty much, but I think you and Wade Patterson doing the slide job on each other with John Ouellette as well. I think that was the most beautiful slide job I've ever seen on dirt. A 2-for-1 pretty much. And you ended up having a little bit of trouble with Wade and John Ouellette, but I'm pretty sure there was nothing that you could possibly do as it was there's a lot of blue out on the track, and you were trying. I'm pretty sure every ounce of in your energy trying to keep it off those two guys on the
Yeah, I
outside.
mean, I slid up coming off of four, obviously in the blue, and once your rear end is out that far, there's only so much you could do. I was trying to work the throttle to keep it as low as possible, but as soon as his front left got to my right rear, they just like hooked together, and you know how it is with cars like that when you're trying to turn left and somebody's kind of on the outside. There was nothing that he could do either. It was a poop situation.
Notice how I
But
said a
yeah, I mean
swear
it's
jar?
yeah, it was just it was rough. I mean, I was turning as hard as I could. I was trying to stay off the gas, trying to get on the gas, and nothing was getting me off of him. When we came on the front stretch, so it was a yeah, that was a rough situation. I didn't want to see that happen there, but yeah, I mean it's dirt track racing. There was plenty of bumping and banging out there against each other, against the wall, and I mean it was fun. A lot of guys have fun out there. It stinks that we had to end it short there, but there's guys that don't race third a lot and don't realize that if you're just mashing the throttle around all the corners, you're just gonna burn up fuel. So there was several of us that could have made it to the end, but not everybody could. So we just kind of made the executive decision to end it there at 60.
All right. Well, I wasn't going to bring it up, but I have to now. The heat race where you got a little bit of contact with John Crane. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, I could probably picture you saying, "Really? Oh no, why?" But still, you.
Something like that. I may have to add more to the swear jar if we went over what was
Or
actually said, but
well, actually,
uh,
I forgot the "come on." You
yep,
know.
there was definitely that. Definitely one or two of those thrown out there, but yeah, I mean, he was in a bad situation there, just completely sideways in the on the track, and I mean, best case scenario there, you exit out, or maybe you back down, knowing that the high line is the preferred line. But as soon as he gunned it, I know he tried to gun it to try and spin it around and get kind of straight back on the track, but when you're sideways like that, it's pretty much impossible to do just that, and it just went straight up to the outside.
Hmm. Yeah, that didn't really fare well for you, but you did have a fast pair. Ended up finishing P number two. Took a little bit of a restart out of my book, and got back up to Matt George, who ended up winning that heat race. But before we send you on out of here, does anybody want to give a shout out to and a special thanks?
Yeah, shout out to Josh Billiter, not only for admin in the series here. Luckily, he's got power this week, and obviously for the paint scheme that he does for me and does for all the league and all the things that he does. Definitely a big shout out to him. Shout out to you guys, Dylan for holding it down every week here in the truck series. Jimmy for helping me out with everything here with CRN and everything like that. And obviously hopping in tonight and helping you out. I'm sure it was a fun one to watch out there. Obviously, shout out to the wife, the kids, everybody that puts up with me doing this way more than a full time job.
All right. Well, next week we do go to New Hampshire. I'm pretty sure you might not race, as this was possibly a one-off race. Just want to have fun with everybody in the league. But New Hampshire next week. Hopefully we get as many cars, if not more, next week, and hopefully we'll see you back out there sometime during this rest of the schedule.
Yeah, I do like New Hampshire, but I'll let these guys go next week.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and let you go party with Mr. Caleb Collins and everybody else up in the general chat, and we will talk to you in a little bit.
All right, thanks, boys.
Later.
All right, that was our race winner for tonight, Carl Handwerk. Not going to run down the finishing order just because the finishing order will not be exactly how it was scored. So I should have asked Carl what the finishing order was before I got him out of the booth, but that pretty much sums it. A lot of slide jobs, a lot of wall banging, a lot of car hitting, but all in all, still a good, clean race. Not
Well, you can
not a lot of
definitely get
cautions.
a rundown of the standings after Carl gets done with the points over at www.coreracingleague.com, as it has all our series in there, our standings, has our link to our our merch shop there if you want a shirt or a sticker, a pint glass or something like that. All that stuff's in there. So definitely go over and visit us over at www.coreracingle.com.
Yeah, they do have a lot of good merchandise stuff over there too. So yeah, we'll get those standings updated and look at the final rundown. But I do know Carl Handelwork was P number one, Matt W. George in P number two, and rounding out your top three was the 72 of Caleb Collins. But that's going to do it for me and Jimmy tonight here in the booth. Remember, guys, take care and brush your hair.
Peace.